Good morning. Okay, guys, we'll go ahead and get started here. We're already kind of a little past the bottom of the hour here. So we'll start with our risk disclosure. Just kind of peruse that here a little bit. And okay, just kind of paraphrase what the risk disclosure is all about is basically letting you know that I'm not here in any sort of investment advisory capacity. Okay, I'm here to provide general information about the market. The information I'm about to provide is not to be considered a investment advice, an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security company or fund. Okay. Use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and it's the company, market trader, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, including myself, assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. Okay, we all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and it's not for every investor. And an investor could lose all or more of their initial invested capital. Only risk capital should be used, money that we can otherwise afford to lose and not compromise our financial security or lifestyle. Um, Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Okay, so now that we got through the risk disclosure, guys, I'm going to go ahead and share the review of news. We have a fair amount of it today. Okay, so we've already gotten a report on ADP and employment. We have EIA today at 10:30 Eastern time, and then the big daddy of all news events is the 2 p.m. Eastern FOMC rate statement. Okay, interest rate decision. This has the potential of creating some volatile markets. Okay, so and as a result, there's the potential of the market being a little bit lethargic leading up to it. Okay, so yeah, fair amount of news today, guys. Planned accordingly. Okay, so again, 2 p.m. Eastern and 10:30 for those who trade crude oil. My focus actually today is going to be on the crude oil, just because well, one, the news is going to be happening a lot earlier in the market, okay, for crude oil. And then two, as we get into the afternoon, it's the crude oil has the potential of being less impacted by any sort of rate decision or FOMC statement. Okay, so crude oil has potential of not being impacted by it as much as maybe say gold, for example. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know if they're anticipating something, but yes, it did pretty much go up all night. Okay. Do you guys not see my stream, Alejandro? Guys, you guys can see my screen, right? Okay, good. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and review the markets. Okay, we're gonna start with our regular market here of gold. We're gonna start with the gold market. Okay, so we're gonna okay, and close this up, and we're gonna start with gold here. All right, and like normal, okay. Again, just a little experimentation with things. I don't know if these things are permanent. Just experimenting with this super trend indicator and the ADX that we talked about yesterday. They probably will be hidden at some point. All right, just in the interest of preserving some space here. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the daily chart. Okay, we always start the market with a daily chart and ask ourselves the question, what is the market trying to do? Okay, well, we see that we have a higher high here, right? Higher high, uh, higher low, okay? But of late, okay, of late, and that's also kind of indicative of what we're seeing here. Of late, we've been in a little bit of a downtrend, okay? A little bit of a downtrend in the gold market, okay? We're close to breaking some structure here to the upside. There does seem to be a little bit of maybe a potential change in character here, okay, in this market, right? From kind of the series of lower lows and lower highs to the potential of the market, starting to break some structure to the upside. Now, taking a look at this here, right? One of the things that we talked about yesterday. Well, what this is indicating, we all the DMI, the DI lines here, all kind of clustered together here, is telling us that that the market is pretty much in range. Okay, there's really nothing, no definitive initiative move in either direction. Now we do have the green line above the red, so that's telling us that we are getting a little bit of momentum to the upside. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and move to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. All right. Again, we see of late. Okay, 4-hour is telling us that the sentiment is higher. Okay, we're starting to get a little bit of separation here on this DMI away, indicating that there is a bit of momentum behind this move here. Okay, so the trend on the 4-hour chart seems to be looking higher here. Okay, there's a little last. I would say that I'd like to see it get above, let's say, 2480. I would say 2480.8, 2481, to really start to embrace this bullish move. Okay, that would be a new high, a new recent high anyway, or actually a break of a resistance level prior. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. I do see that we have a bit of a um, demand zone here. Okay, right around 2422. Okay, demand zone here at 2422. Let's see, make sure I capture that on my 2422 for our demand. Yes. And then depending on how we react away from this could be a supply zone here, or yeah, well, we do see a little bit of reaction away from here at around 2480. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what's causing this reaction. This seems to be more of a retracement. Okay. Probably, and this is way above the market here, but 2425, okay, up to this area here seems to be a supply zone. Okay, so it's well above the market, right? But that's the only area where I see a definitive move out, okay, away, and a test. Okay, so this 2421 level seems to be a logical level for me, for a supply zone, 4-hour supply zone. Okay, we do also have 2480, which we reacted away from once. Question is, if we're going to be in this range market, 2480 could come back, all right, as an area for us to reverse away from. Okay, that demand as the neckline of the daily Head and Shoulders. Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, you could see that we do have a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern here. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Okay. So yes, maybe this is indeed the neckline. All right. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, looking at my little super trend indicator here so kind of help me with the sentiment and view. Again, we're seeing that the market is indicating that we are in a bullish move in the market. All right. Now we're on the top end of the market, and you know how I feel about the top ends of any markets, right? So let's go ahead and open up our average session range, because that's the one that usually is the one that's somewhat off. So see 2452. 2452 is our average session range low. Okay, so 2452, 2452.8. That's our average session range low. I'm going to add these to the chart here in a second, guys. Just kind of updating my chart, my spreadsheet. Okay, and then we have average session range high at 2479. Okay, so we're going to move this down here. 2479 is our average session range high. Okay, average session range high. Okay, and then while we're at this, let's double confirm our average daily ranges. Okay, just want to make sure I got those right. So average daily range, we have 2473. Okay, and on the high side, and then we have what looks like 2438 on the low side. Okay, so let's remove some of these things now. Got this to go away, 2448 to go away. Okay, and then we're going to move this up, and we're going to move this up. Okay, all right. Now let's go ahead and share those numbers with you now. Okay, so I have here our ranges. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and open up, excuse me, our fixed range volume profile. Okay, I'm going to turn these, well, I'll keep them on. It's okay. We're going to go ahead and locate the 830 bar here and drag that across to the 430 bar. So make sure I get that right. Yes, 830, 430. Okay, great. Just kind of double confirming the levels here. Value area range high is in line. Value area range low is in line. Point of control is in line. Now as we're going to open up settlement. Settlement is also in line. Okay. So looks like we got captured the levels correctly here. Let me take a swig of water here. I get a little bit of frog in my throat here. All right. All right. So what to make of this market here? Okay. So right now we are above value. All right. You can see that we are above the value from yesterday, right? Price is well above value from yesterday. Now, the question is, we're getting a lot of overlapping price action here. Okay. So the logical thing, again, I know we have news coming up here. The logical thing for this market to do, and I suspect that we have a very tight initial balance range, and we may stay tight, okay, because of all the news that we expect. So this is a recipe. If you've attended yesterday's session, group call, what did we say when we had a tight initial balance range? Does anybody recall what we said when we had a tight initial balance range? Well, a tight initial balance range means that we have a greater chance for a trend, correct? A potential trend market. Okay. We just don't know what direction that's going to be. Okay. Right. So a nice tight initial balance range offers us an opportunity for a trend move. Okay. Either to the upside or to the downside. Okay. Now we are in the middle of the session range, average session range, and we're on the upper end of the average daily ranges. Okay. All right. So now, and so the question is, well, what direction could this move? Well, since we are on the upper end, I'm thinking that it's probably going to come back down at some point, right? And pick up some new buyers. Okay. And where would the logical place to pick up these new buyers? Well, value area high, settlement price, average session range. That seems to be a logical area to pick up some new buyers because what do I have here? Well, I have a very initiative, right? Move, all right, to the upside, right? So whoever this person is probably going to want to keep the markets propped up, right? So, and if he feels like he doesn't have enough, then he's going to push the market back down to this level, scoop some more up at a relatively good price, and the market's going to head higher. Okay, so that's kind of the one scenario, right? Now the other one is that we rally up to say ASR or ADR, and that offers us an opportunity to potentially fade the market back down. Okay, so look at these levels as a potential area. Now those are a couple of the scenarios here. Okay, so going into the market, all right, going into the market or going into the day, I would say that we should be looking for opportunities to the upside. The problem is that we have such a big news event. We could have a relatively dull market in gold until the news. All right, until about 2 p.m. Eastern time. We could stay in this very tight range because nobody wants to stick their neck out, right? Nobody knows what what the news is going to say, whether it's going to be favorable to interest rates or whether it's going to be not favorable to reducing interest rates. So nobody wants to be caught with that bit of news. So chances are we get a relatively muted environment here. Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I have here for gold. Again, we probably need to be a little bit careful with gold up until the FOMC meeting, and then once the FOMC meeting happens, probably 15, 30 minutes after, letting the market kind of digest whatever move that they wanted to make or whatever overreaction was made in the market, then that would be probably the opportune time to potentially participate in the market. All right. If there's no questions on gold, we're going to go ahead and move on to crude oil. Okay. So looking at crude oil, okay, we're going to go ahead and remove a bunch of these lines here. All right. We're going to go ahead and look at the daily chart. And we're going to ask ourselves the question is what is the general direction that the market is trying to move? Okay. Well, of late, it's been down of late. Okay. We do have an area of demand. Okay. We do have an area of demand here. All right. That's an area of demand. So I'm going to draw this in green. And then we could see here that there's a little bit of a supply zone above. I think we've identified this level a number of times now, right? Around this 82 level. Okay. This I'm going to go ahead and draw in as red. Okay. So, and it seems to be a bit rangy, right? No real direction. Okay. We're kind of, bouncing around between the supplies and demand zones here. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the daily. I guess of late, I would say that we're probably a little bit more to the downside. Okay. Again, if I draw my channel, we are well within our channel here, looking to potentially break that channel to the upside. Okay. So if we do get a break of this to the upside, then we open up the door for price to come back to these levels above us. Okay, with some maybe stops in between. Okay. All right. So daily, coming in, I would say a bit bearish. Okay, but I am seeing a developing candle here that could potentially change the character of this market. All right. 4-hour chart. Okay, so 4-hour chart, I've already kind of identified the levels here, guys. So from a supply and demand perspective, using the daily. Okay, so just going to make sure here We do have something here, but I think trying to see the real rejection that we're getting here is around this 82 level. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the chart. Now I'm going to quickly go ahead and confirm my ASR numbers here. So let's see, where did they put it here? Oh, we have to go a little bit further down. Okay, so we have our supply and demand zones again, indicating that we are a little bit still in a kind of a downward move in the crude oil. All right, but challenging it to the upside. All right, 30-minute chart. So we have our ASR kind of established here at 70, 75, 75, which seems a bit on the low side here. So that most likely is going to get adjusted here later. Okay. We have these older ranges that we've reacted away from. So I'm almost inclined to modify that. Okay. To use an older range. Okay. Because this range does not seem, so we have on the upper end, we have 77.62. Okay. So 77.62 on the upper end. Okay. So just go ahead and update that on the spreadsheet. Okay. 77.62 is our average session range high. Okay. And let's go ahead and add our ADR here. Add our settlement. Okay. Add ADR. Again, we've also exceeded some of these levels. Okay. Pretty strongly here. Okay. So let's turn off ASR here for a second, just to kind of provide some clarity here. So I'm going to be using some older levels here, since we've broken some of these levels, in the middle of the market here. Okay, so I'm gonna say 78.13. Okay, as our average daily range high. I understand that it is an older level, okay, but the fact that we've exceeded it by such a large degree, okay, both sides today, today's session, today's range, and yesterday's. I'm going to look at a past one here, okay, at 78.20. All right, 78.20 is my new, or today's average daily range high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and update that. So 78, what did I say? 78.22, was it? 78.21. Okay, 78.21 as my average daily range high. 78.21. Even though it's an older level, chances are it will be respected. Okay, so let's go ahead and update this. All right, and then let's see, we're going to go ahead and add back our average session range low. Okay, so we have 74.30. Okay, 74.30 is our average session range low. And let's see, average daily range low is also around that level here. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and wrap this spreadsheet up, and then I go ahead and update the levels, and then we'll wrap up our analysis on the crude oil. All right. Okay. So let's move this over. Okay. So we're starting to see a little bit of a separation here in the crude oil market, so indicating that maybe we are in a kind of a bullish trend developing. All right, in the crude oil market. So let's remove some of these. I'm just going to keep one of these on. Which one is the most? Let's the one that's really the one that kind of draws to me right now is average session range. Okay, so let's kind of widen this out, and then I'm going to provide you guys with the levels that I'll be looking at today in crude oil. Right, there they are. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to locate the 9 a.m. bar, drag that across to the 4:30 bar. So that there's our range. Range was actually quite tight. And look how much of a nice move to the upside that we had. Okay, so I'm just going to spot check these things. So we had area high 75.08, area low 74.73, which is also settlement. Okay, our value area low and our settlement price are relative, basically the same price here. Okay. So, what to make of this market? Well, initial balance has already kind of started, so we'll go ahead and open that up. All right. So we have again a relatively tight initial balance range, maybe because again we have some news coming. All right. So this market could be dull up until the time that we have the EIA report in crude oil. All right. But it's very much, I would say, in control of the bulls. Okay. So we have, we're definitely trending here to the upside in the crude oil market. So, given that, okay, where would be some logical locations for me to participate in this market? Well, I have VWAP, which is also an area of demand here, right on the 30-minute, right? You see that, right? Potential demand here. So we'll draw that in a lighter shade of green because we haven't really gotten much in the way of a reaction away from it, right? So that's an area of demand right around 76, 75 would be a logical area, to get a little bit of a wholesale, I would say discount long, all right? 76.33 average session range low would be another area for a discount long, okay? Maybe the top end of this ADR zone, okay? Average daily range high could be in another area for a potential, long. These are all reference levels, price reference levels where I would be keen on participating. Value area high that we have captured here at 75.08 would be a logical area to participate. Okay, in a long. Okay, if I'm thinking short, well, I have 77.73. Okay, as an area, right? So I need to see a break of something, right? So maybe a break low of initial balance low, right? At 77.08, right? And then maybe the bottom end of initial balance low could offer me a reference level to participate in a short. The same is true for VWAP, right? So once we break below it, then that could serve as a reference level. So I'm going to go ahead and looks like we did get some sort of reaction here. So I'm going to go ahead and start to add a little anchored VWAP here, okay, at the top end of the market, right? And see how that plays out. Okay. If we stay above it, or do we start to maybe retrace down here a bit, okay, and reverse potentially. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the crude oil market. Okay. Um, so right now, I would say that we need to find locations for a bullish trade. Okay. If we start to break some structure to the downside, then we need to obviously change our view and change our, areas for where we would like to participate. Okay. Maybe instead of we start breaking some structure here to the downside, then we start opening the door for maybe some more, bearish trades to the downside. Okay. But right now, I would say that the structure is higher. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw a channel here just to kind of, keep me on the right side of the market here. Okay. I may do another one here. Seems a little bit more vertical here of late, really on top of this. Okay. So these are some areas I'd like to see, right? So if it does break below, I wouldn't want it to break below this level here at around, and this is coming in right at the demand level anyway, right? But that's kind of a way for me to logically look at the market without getting overly emotional and just evaluating, am I above, am I below these channels? Okay. I don't need to kind of make guesswork out of this. Okay. I try to make this a review as objective, or my view of this as objective as I can. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the crude oil market. We have our levels We have our general hypos on how we are going to approach this market. We know that we have EIA coming in about an hour and a half. Okay, so any trades that we take prior to that, it would be, I would say, wise for us to go flat. I would say 15 minutes before that number comes out. Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I have for the crude oil market. Let's go ahead and open up the Nasdaq. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. We've been in a very strong move overnight, which is a little bit surprising given the move that we had yesterday. But that might have been, in anticipation of maybe some news that could be favorable to further upside here. So looking at the daily, okay, now. Right. So we're going to go ahead and move this, and we're going to remove all drawings. Okay. So, right, we've been in the daily, we've been in this down move. Right now, we have a developing bullish candle here that is potentially engulfing. Right. So we won't know the extent of this, whether it closes as bullish as it appears, until the end of the day, right? But we have to also understand that on the daily chart, we're still in a relatively lower low, lower high kind of structure. All right. So daily, I'm going to say bearish, but I'm going to make note of a developing daily bullish engulfing candle. Okay. Very bullish engulfing. Okay. 4-hour chart. All right, for our chart, here we are. We're still relatively bearish in this market. Okay, again, I'm going to be kind of tracking maybe something like this. Okay, just to get a sense, do we get above 20,082? Then I would say that it really changes the character. Even the fact that we can get above 19,345 is an indication that would be kind of the first time we've broken some structure in the recent past on the bullish side. Okay. All right. So 4 hours still bearish, but it's being challenged. Okay, I would say. All right, it's being challenged. All right. 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and add our levels here. I'm going to remove this channel here for a second because it's on the higher time frame. We all understand. Now, this is kind of where we get our first indication on the 30-minute chart that we're starting to see some bullish price action. We're seeing some separation here in the ADX indicator. Okay, and it's telling us that this move is strong. Okay. We're seeing some volume delta, more buyers than sellers in the market. Okay, another indication that there is potentially some buyers stepping into this market. Okay, maybe trying to trap as many of these these people who are in bearish trades. Okay, so let's go ahead and call out our levels here, guys. All right, so here we are. Okay, these are our levels. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Let's see, where is that? There it is. We're going to locate the 930 bar from yesterday, drag that to the 430 bar, and there we are. Okay, so price is well above value from yesterday. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our ADR. ADR is also well above. I'm going to capture this level here, 19,466. 19,466 is a prior ADR high. Okay. That could offer something in the way of a potential pullback. Okay. 19,466 on the high side. Okay. So let's, we're already past that window. We'll adjust it later. Okay. We'll go ahead and adjust it now. So Oops. Okay, I'm going to say 19,466 is kind of my new level here for the extent of this move that we're seeing. Okay. Um, to change those. Okay, so we're going to say, what was that? Average. Yeah, so we said 19,466 for average daily range high. And then we're going to go ahead and open up average session range, which again is probably going to get a change on us here as we get close to the market. So we have average session range high here at 390. Okay. Okay, and then we have average session range low here at 51.75. And then our average daily range low is 0.77. 0.77. Okay, so we'll update that. Okay, so let's reflect that on this sheet here. So we have 390 for our 90 here for our average session range high. Okay. Average session range low is 51. So we'll update that. And then 75 for average daily range. Okay. All right. So what to make of this market? What time did crude open? Crude opens at 9 a.m. every day, Eastern. Okay. 9 a.m. All right. So what to make of this market? Well, if you were to talk to me yesterday, I would have said, well, we're probably continuing lower. But overnight said, you know what? This is a good opportunity to buy, buy the market. All right. And that's what they did. Right. So we are well above value from yesterday. So there's a lot of bulls in the market. Okay. So somebody is banking on some favorable news on the interest rate front. Okay. Because they're saying that it's probably not a bad time to be buying some equities here. Okay, so what to make of this? Well, again, we need to find logical locations to participate in this market if we are a believer of this upside move. Okay, if we are a believer of this upside move, then we have VWAP as a logical location. Okay, we have value area high as a logical location. We're still about 15 minutes away from this initial balance range. So some reference levels are going to be generated as a result of initial balance. So we'll have to see what that provides. Okay. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my little anchor VWAP on the start of this move. Okay, basically at the close, right? So the close basically said, okay, this is enough of a discount, and there was a lot of participants that stepped in and said, okay, this is a place where I'd like to buy this market. Okay, so that's another anchor VWAP is another location where I would like to participate. Now this is the super trend indicator. This is just kind of giving us a feel for what the trend is. Okay. I just kind of experimenting with this a little bit, guys. So it may not be a permanent fixture on my charts, but something that's kind of helped me and guide me on the trend side. Okay. All right. So yeah, so we, like I said, if I'm looking bullish, then we have value area high, we have this VWAP, we have ASR and ADR lows, okay, to offer me some opportunities to the upside. If I'm bearish, well, that's where it gets kind of it gets kind of goofy, right? Because these areas are we don't have many areas above us, right? We have to look to the left and see. Okay, we are coming into some areas that could present some issues, right? We have the 19,395, 19,400. These are all logical levels for price to fade from, okay, based on what we see on the left-hand side. Otherwise, we have to look above, right? We have this ASR low from Wednesday, 19,578, okay, as a potential area, to consider, okay? So for now, I would have to say that we need to look for opportunities to the long side. We also understand that we have, a pretty significant news event that's going to take place. This might even be a market that we don't even trade today, just because of that, right? Because the price moves leading up to the news event is probably going to be muted. Okay, and then when the news event happens, it could be quite volatile, right? So we need to think about more, how we say, scalping strategies, I guess, rather than sustained moves in any one direction, right? Once we have this news event take place. All right. So I think that's all I have to say for the Nasdaq. All right, we are, definitely in some sort of up move here. Okay, grinding to the upside. All right, and coming into this first area, I'm going to be kind of looking at and seeing if we get maybe a potential 3-bar reversal potential here. Okay, we're about 12 minutes away from the open of this market, so we'll have to. I'm gonna pull out some popcorn here and figure out what's going to take place here. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the ES here. Okay, so the ES market, again, we're gonna turn off some of these levels here, and we're gonna open up the daily, okay, and ask ourselves a question. Okay, what is this market trying to do? Well, of late, it's been trying to go lower. But somebody with some significant purchasing power has decided that, you know what, this is enough of a discount for me. I anticipate, you're welcome, Frizu. I anticipate that the news that I'm going to receive on interest rates is going to be favorable. All right, let me step into this market while the buying is still good. Okay, that's kind of the interpretation of this. All right, this is still very much developing. All right. We're still very much in control, right, of the bears here, right? Nothing structure wise has been broken here yet, has it? Right? Maybe if I really squeeze it, but if I did something like that, maybe we started to peak above, okay, on the daily chart. All right, 4-hour chart. Okay, for our chart, again, giving us the same kind of sentiment. Okay, we see here that maybe we are starting to peak above this bearish channel. Okay, again, and if we do close that way, well, that could be enough of a impetus here. Now, notice this green line here starting to on the ADX front, starting to peak above. Okay, indicating that there is some momentum coming into this market to the upside. Okay. All right. 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Again, I'm going to capture my levels here. I'm going to post these here on the right. Okay. There are levels. Okay. So for the ES. And let's expand this a bit because it's a little bit on the small side. I'm sure if it's small for me, it's probably small for you. And we're going to go ahead and start. Let me go ahead and remove this. This is not offering much at this point. So we're going to go ahead and opening with a gap. Yeah. Yes. Um, so let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Okay, here we are. Drag that across. All right. So just like we had in the NASDAQ, okay, we see that price is well above value. All right. Again, we're starting to see a little bit of separation here on the ADX DMI. On the positive DMI is well above the red. Okay, indicating that there is a fair amount of momentum to the upside here. Okay. What else? So let's double check some of these levels here. Okay, so we have value area high is coming in as the way I've described. Value area low is also 54. Is actually value area low is 47. Okay, 47. Okay, so let's modify that. Okay. And point of control is 72, which is in line. We have settlement, which is basically almost on the top of point of control. Okay. That's coming in line as well. All right. 72. Yeah, that's coming in line as well. All right. So let's take a look at the things that often change on me, and that is this average session range high and average session range low. So that's now been captured. We have our average session range up here on the high side, and the low side we have 54.9250. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and open up our ADR levels. Okay. Our ADR levels are already well above. Okay. We've crushed them. Okay. So we're basically looking at some older levels here now, all right, to kind of potentially serve as resistant, right? So we have this level up here, which is pretty much 55.41, which has already been exceeded. Okay. 50, yeah, 55. Yeah, we've already exceeded it. Okay. We have, yeah, so I've already kind of captured that here. All right. So again, similar to what we said on the Nasdaq, okay, market is a bit bullish, okay. We have indications or indicators that tell us that we should be looking at bullish trades in the ES, but not in any sort of random location, right? We want to look at area reference levels that we can manage our risk. So we want to look at VWAP. Okay. Again, I'm going to draw my little anchored VWAP on the bottom here, right? And as long as price can stay above, okay, any sort of retest down to daily VWAP or anchor VWAP, those are going to be areas where I would like to participate to the long side. Okay. If we start to get some breaks of structure break below VWAP, break below anchored VWAP, okay, then maybe my tune will change. Settlement price is still down here. This will serve as a good target for any sort of bearish trade. Maybe the news that comes out later this afternoon isn't favorable, right? The settlement price could be a logical target for price. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my ASR here because that's really the only level that I have here that could potentially be resistant. Okay. And in the near future. All right. I think that is what I want to say for the ES market. Okay. I'm going to given the fact that we are in FOMC today, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the Dow. All right, to kind of complete our suite of the equities. Okay, because the Dow seems to be behaving a little bit different than say the Nasdaq and the ES, which is always good to understand, right? So let's take a look at the daily here. All right, so daily, okay, similar to what we were saying here, the Dow has been in a relatively strong move to the upside. Okay, it's kind of waning here a little bit, right? The upside move is kind of waning, and you can see that in some of the ADX indicators that I have here below me. Okay, so but nonetheless, still very much bullish. Okay, 4 hour chart. So 4 hour, okay, 4 hour, telling us the same kind of thing. We are in, kind of continue to be in an uptrend in the Dow. All right. Again, some separation of the positive. Okay, which means that we have some momentum going to the upside in this market. Although it's not this, although it is waning a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, this is so we've come, it looks like we are developing a little bit of a supply zone. All right. We are getting some rejection here. You guys see the rejection, right? So of the equities, okay, the Dow does not seem to be in alignment with their view. Okay, we're starting to see that maybe they have a different view of where this market should go. All right, so the Dow is by far the weakest of the three. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up a fixed range volume profile here, and we're going to go to um, the 930 bar, drag that across. Okay, so we are, close to retesting the high of value here. Okay, high of value. So that could provide, okay, that could provide a logical location for a participation in a move higher. Now we're starting to get some indication. We're starting to break some structure here to the downside. Okay, if we don't get any sort of reaction away from value, okay, this to me seems like a logical area where we might want to consider, assuming that we get a close back inside value, that we could rotate all the way through value. Okay, in the Dow market. Okay, we're seeing some selling pressure coming in on the Dow, indicating that there are some sellers potentially stepping into this market. Now, if I do get a reaction, right, if I get maybe a little bit of a 3 bar, maybe reversal away, that could be this whole move could just simply be a retracement for a larger move higher. Okay. But it's acting a little bit different than what we are seeing in both the ES and the Nasdaq. All right. So this we're at a key decision point right now, I would say, in the Dow. All right. So let's take a peek here at where the ADR levels already been exceeded and retested. Let's go ahead and open up ASR. ASR is also so we're making a push into. We just had the market open on us here. So let's see if I can locate my initial balance tool. Don't know why I don't have initial balance. But in any case, guys, so right now the initial balance range right now is being developed, right? So this is kind of the start of the initial balance range right here and right here. Okay, that's the start of it. Okay, this could be exceeded here in short order. So we're just going to continue to adjust this. But eventually I'm going to have the tool kind of do this. So initial balance range being developed. We're right on top of value area high. Again, if we get a nice 3 bar reversal, we could be in for a nice long from this location. All right. If price closes back inside value, we could be in store for a rotation. Okay. A rotation through value. Okay. So those are kind of the two things that I'm kind of looking at. in the Dow today. All right, so we're starting to see a little bit of reaction away from value area high. We'll have to see whether that's going to hold, and if it does, again, this could offer us a nice location for a potential long in this market. All right. All right. I think that's gonna be it for me. We're about 1 minute past the hour or past the normal time I like to take these sessions. So happy to entertain any questions that anyone might have at this point. If there's any sort of market, I could take a peek at one other market here since we're not too far away. Otherwise, if there's no questions or no requests, then we'll just go ahead and close this session and go about our day, trying to understand opportunities that will present themselves in this market. Okay, just gonna pause here to see if there's any sort of questions. No questions. Okay, excellent. All right, Himachali, have an excellent day of trading, guys. Trade well, trade safe. Again, guys, today, a lot of news today, a lot of potential for volatility. Okay, so trade safely, trade well, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. Don't be afraid to subscribe and like as these are posted up on the YouTube channel. If there's any sort of comments that you like to make, kind of encouraging me to do one thing over the other, more of this, less of that, that's always encouraged. I do appreciate any sort of feedback you can provide me, and to maximizing and adding value to these sessions. Okay. So again, have an excellent day, guys. And be on the lookout for some news. Be on the lookout and be I would say be I think patience is definitely in order today. All right. And again, this might be a day that you might want to, especially if you're dealing with the equities, this might be a day that you might want to sit on the sidelines, right? Or be very quick to secure profits. Okay. All right. I think that's it. All right, guys. Have an excellent day, guys, and I'll see you either in group coaching or same time, same channel tomorrow.